Yes. How are you? I am back here now. And this time around, we shall be discussing politics of our nation, Kenya. And I'll be discussing about the BBI. The reason why I have come is because we already have the BBI case on our Supreme Court, which is waiting to be determined by the judges. We are waiting for the ruling by the judges. And the nation is quiet as if nothing is happening. So I know so many of us don't have the access to computers, and also we did not get the copies of the BBI as it was expected. So Kenyans are not aware of what they expect. And that is why today we are asking ourselves, what if the BBI comes back? Or what if the BBI succeeds? And I have also asked you there, are you prepared for the Prime Minister, Uhuru Kenyatta? Because there is a possibility. Nobody knows what are the plans of our leaders. So those are the things I'll be discussing today. I'll be telling you more about the BBI. I have gotten a chance of going through it. And I want us to scrutinize the BBI together with you. So you are most welcome. And I will also put the link on the comment side so that if you want to participate on today's debate, you feel free. And I have enough time. We can do this even if it means going for 2 hours or 3 hours. So I have put the link on the comment side. I have put the link on the YouTube. I have put the link on my Facebook. And you will be in a position to join me here in the studio if you like politics and if you like being informed about your nation. If you don't participate in politics of your country, you are likely to make the wrong decision when it comes to voting. So everybody is supposed to be well informed of what is going on around their nation. So I want us to check not everything because we cannot handle everything at the same time. But we shall start with the issue which the BBI quoted as divisive elections. That is to say that we have been having issues with the elections in Kenya, whereby, Kenyans have been fighting each other. We have been having chaos and violence and all that. So the BBI, in trying to solve this problem, they came up with several proposals. And that is why I want to tell you what you expect. If the BBI, if the ruling is that the BBI should go to the referendum, and if it passes through the referendum and people accept it, what do you expect? And that's why I have told you, we can even have Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta. Are you prepared for it? Hello? And these are the proposals they made as a way of solving the issue of divisive elections. And they said, number one, change the nature and structure of the national executive to make it more inclusive and ensure as many Kenyan communities as possible feel part of the government. And the point number one here, which they gave, is that they should establish a position of the Prime Minister in the same model as the one used in our neighboring country, Tanzania. And they are saying this Prime Minister shall be appointed by the president. So if today William Ruto, or if the BBI goes through and William Ruto becomes the president, he will appoint the Prime Minister. That will be the work of the president. Or if Raila Odinga becomes the president under BBI, he will appoint the one who becomes the president. And then it continues, not the president, but the prime minister. It continues to state, or coalition of parties that are majority in the National Assembly. And if no party has a majority, the person who appears to have the support of the majority of the members of the National Assembly. And this one has a lot of ambiguity. The person who appears to have the majority. I don't know why they decided to put that ambiguous statement there. That one is not expected from professionals. That the prime minister will come from the party with the majority of the members of parliament. And if none of them has the majority of members of parliament, the person who appears to have, that is what we call ambiguity. It is not clear. It is opaque. I don't know why the professionals decided to do that. The person who appears to have the support of the majority of the members of the National Assembly, that he must be confirmed by the National Assembly. He may be fired by either the president through a decree or by the National Assembly through a vote of no confidence. That is the prime minister. Now, are you prepared for this? Because as things are now, it's 50-50. The BBI might come back and it might sail through the referendum. And as things are, because we have the people who are supporting the BBI, who are very strong and very powerful, and they are able to influence the systems to ensure that if the judges rule that the BBI come back, it means they will either postpone the elections to cater for the referendum for the BBI so that the BBI can be implemented. So, are you aware that we are likely to have, because as I told people through analysis and through psychology, that I am not sure, and this is me, this is what I'm thinking, is that the handshake, and you have heard this from so many leaders, the handshake was about this: changing the constitution, expand the executive so that Uhuru Kenyatta may continue to be in the next government. And I think, I'm talking as a psychology, because, by the way, yeah, I have a background of psychology. In psychology, people say that we read people's mind. No. What we do, we interpret behaviors. You look at how people are acting and what people are not saying, and then you try to connect the dots. Then you ask yourself, what are these people not telling us? Now I'm talking as a professional. What is Uhuru not telling Kenyans? What is Raila Odinga not telling Kenyans? Why did they decide to have a handshake discussion amongst the two of them, between the two of them, and not involving other leaders in that closed door meeting? What did they discuss? Now, these are what we call the hypotheses. What did they discuss? And nobody else knows except the two leaders. And now I am trying now to tell you what they may not be telling you is that we change the constitution, and by changing the constitution, you support me, we work peacefully for these 5 years. Then after that, I support you, you become the president, then you appoint me, become your prime minister, and we continue ruling these people. It's just a hypothesis. And my hypothesis might be around maybe 70% wrong, not wrong, 70% right, and 30% wrong. I might be right, I might be wrong, but that is what I think was the discussion of the handshake. Support me, I work for these 5 years, I'll give you everything you require, government support, the cars, the security, everything you need, I'll put it under your disposal. Then after that, we work together. I support you, become the president. Then we change the constitution and we say, and that is why you have had even the who is this? The Attorney General has said that there is nothing which hinders Uhuru Kenyatta from becoming or occupying any other position, including the position of the Prime Minister of Kenya. So he become like Putin of Russia. And we will continue to see. But I have had people who have been in a position to scrutinize this document very well, saying that this Prime Minister will have the executive power. We will have the executive power, and then we shall have a ceremonial president. That means practically the Prime Minister will have power, though he can be fired by the president. I don't want to dwell there. But the question I want to ask you, are you prepared? Are you prepared for Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta? Because who else do you think, if Raila becomes the president today, which is not an offense, it is okay. If Raila Odinga becomes the president today, the person with the highest possibility of becoming the Prime Minister of Kenya will be Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, or is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And we don't know how the ruling will be, because the judges can rule on the good things of the BBI, and they say what we don't want is the interference with the judiciary, independence of the judiciary. If you work on this, then let the Kenyans decide the other things. So if they decide that, without no doubt, the leaders that we have, they are so powerful and so influential, they will be in a position to bring a referendum before the elections. So the election will be postponed to pave way for the referendum, and the BBI will go through. That is if the court will rule in the favor of BBI. And I want you to join me, for those who like being informed about politics, or you have something you'd like to participate and discuss, come on the screen. Let us talk the politics of our nation, because it is very good to be informed of what is happening. We shall talk many things today. I'll talk 2 things about the divisive politics and also the issue of the BBI. So we have seen the part of the Prime Minister. And number 2, they are saying there should be established the office of the leader of the opposition, who will be the runner-up of the presidential election. He shall become an ex officio member of parliament. If the runner-up forms a coalition with the government, then the leader of the opposition shall be the person who leads the coalition of parliamentary parties not represented in government. All political parties not in government shall be deemed to be in the opposition. That is the office of the leader of opposition. And I want us to repeat so that we may understand what they are saying. That the office of the leader of the opposition shall be the runner-up of the presidential election. He shall become an ex officio member of parliament. If the runner-up forms a coalition with the government, then the leader of the opposition shall be the person who leads the coalition of parliamentary parties not represented in government. The runner-up is like now we have Raila Odinga. If he becomes the president, automatically William Ruto becomes the leader of opposition. And we will have the office of the leader of opposition facilitated by the government with all instruments to ensure that he is able to give the checks and balances to the government. But if Ruto, after the elections, because this one happens in Kenya, if Ruto and Raila Odinga decides now, yes, you have become number two, and they decide to work together, now they are saying in such a situation, now who becomes the leader of opposition? And that's why they are saying if the runner-up forms a coalition with the government, then the leader of the opposition shall be the person who leads the coalition of parliamentary parties. So the coalition of parliamentary parties not represented in government, all political parties not in government shall be deemed to be in the opposition. Point number 3, providing that the cabinet shall be a mix of elected members of the National Assembly and technocrats. Right now, we don't have members of the National Assembly in the cabinet. So they are saying that they want to bring the politicians in the cabinet. What does that mean? It is, and let me just read the whole of it before I do the explanation. I can even repeat that because we want to inform each other what does this constitution carries. Many Kenyans, they don't have the idea. It is very important. So they are saying that providing that the cabinet shall be a mix of elected members of National Assembly and technocrats, where appointed technocrats will be ex officios members of parliament, that you will not become. You are most welcome, my brother. You are most welcome. That you will not become a member of the cabinet, or you cannot be appointed in the cabinet if you have never served in the parliament. So it will be involved of people who have either served before in parliament or people who are already in parliament. And that has been left to the president to decide. So, Mr. Kim, I can see you are there. And I am telling Kenyans that there is a possibility. The BBI can come back anytime, anytime. There is a possibility. It is 50-50. It might come back. It might not come back. But if it comes back and it happens that Raila Odinga becomes the president, we can even have Uhuru Kenyatta as the prime minister. So the question I'm asking Kenyans, are you prepared for Uhuru Kenyatta? And this is a hypothesis. I am not sure. Are you prepared for Uhuru Kenyatta as your prime minister and Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga as the president of Kenya. And now I was trying to show that what the people who sat down and came up with the BBI decided to do in order to solve the problem of divisive elections in Kenya. Maybe, Mr. Kim, maybe you have something you can say about this proposal, that one way of solving this problem is by having a prime minister appointed by the president, and by having the office of the leader of opposition. And also, let me just highlight the fourth one, that providing that the cabinet shall be a mix of elected members of National Assembly and technocrats. Those are some of the proposals they made that are very, 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 very crucial, that they will bring major changes. They also say, if you read down there, that the members of the cabinet, they will change the name from the cabinet secretaries, which actually they borrowed from America. And this is why I am to some extent, I'm not happy with the 2010 Constitution to some extent. It's a good document, but I'm not happy with it because it has many things they copied and pasted, and they never thought of tailoring the Constitution to suit our nation. And that is why there is a lot of confusion. Right now, what was the point of changing the ministers to the cabinet secretaries? I don't see any reason. It's only thinking that the ones who decided to have the ministers of the government, it's like they had not thought very well. But that was a mistake of borrowing things. Almost everything in 2010 Constitution was borrowed and copied to our Constitution without tailoring it to the needs of Kenyans. So anyway, Mr. Kim, I can see you are there. If you are in a position to talk, maybe there is something you'd like to say so far concerning the things I have touched on the issue of BBI. Can you hear me, sir? Yes. Kim,
I can, Jeff, but right now I'm not in a position to talk at the moment.
Oh, thank you.
But I'll join in the discussion at some point. Thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So I want us to also look at the issue of the BBI. One thing that will happen. The other issue is the issue of IEBC. If the BBI goes through, number one, the proposal is that all the members of the IEBC must go home. Maybe Kenyans don't know that. So there is no way, if the BBI goes through today, there is no way the politicians, most of them, there is no way they will accept to have the current IEBC members conducting the next election. They will say the BBI has proposed that you should go home, because that is the proposal. Actually, let me check that part here so that I may read to you. And that is why the BBI or the people in the IEBC right now, they don't want this thing, because it is sending them home. And there are also so many things that I didn't like. One of them is that the executive or the politicians will be involved in determining who becomes the leaders of the BBI. And also they have said that they should only serve for 3 years, which is renewable once, so that they can bring in other people. And that is a problem. That is a problem, because if you tell the politicians, decide who is going to be the chairman. People with money and people with positions of power automatically, like now today, if we are to change this constitution, and we decide now, it is the politicians to decide who becomes the leaders of the IEBC. Automatically, the most powerful and the most influential person right now, or the people who are very influential, are the president, because he has all the systems of power. He has all the money, and he has the prime minister, who has been in the, not the prime minister, the former prime minister, Raila Odinga. He has money. And the president also, as you can see, he is working very closely to the son of the former president, Daniel Moi. What will cause them not to determine who becomes the leader of the IEBC and all other commissioners? And that is why, to me, I would say no. Politicians should not be involved in choosing who becomes the leaders of the IEBC. It should not happen like that. But that is what has been proposed here. So automatically, if the BBI goes through, the president will determine who becomes the leader of the IEBC. And you know what that means. And that is why you saw that, thank you so much, Lillian, I can see you, and so many others, I can see you. And that is why you see the people who right now are against some of these things. It is because they know automatically, if the BBI goes through, the president and his team, or the people who are working with the president, they will determine all the people who occupies the IEBC. And automatically, the people who will occupy the IEBC, if they will not have the highest level of integrity, you know what that means. There will be election rigging. And we should avoid such kind of things. So this BBI has so many good things. But there are things that we are put inside there that are not helping Kenyans. And that is why you see the BBI, which I have it here right now, is having so many troubles. It's having a lot of opposition. Yet it was meant to be a good document. So because I want us to continue scrutinizing, if you have any question, you are going to ask that question that you may be having right now. You can put it down there. I'll read it to the people. And if I'll be in a position, I will answer you because I have the document here. I am trying to look for the part of the IEBC. You see what this document says. Because it is very important that Kenyans may be educated and understand exactly what the BBI states. There are so many things here. Yes, actually I have seen that part. It says, enhance the capability, not capability. Let me try to broaden these numbers. Enhance the capacity of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to deliver free and fair elections by, number one, this is what now they are saying, the only way to have free and fair elections in Kenya, number one, is by removing all current commissioners and establishing a new commission for the next election. Somebody is trying to call. Sorry, I am live. I may not answer. So if you have any question or you want to say something, Don't call through my phone. Just put a comment there, or you follow the link. You'll be in a position to come on the studio. Like you can see, we already have Kim. You can just follow, come here, or you can you can be making comments on the comment site, like Lilian Nyoike. Lilian is a good politician, and I don't know why you keep hiding that side. I normally don't see you here on the screen. Come, we talk about these things. So this is what they are saying, that we can solve divisive elections in Kenya by enhancing the capacity of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to deliver free and fair elections. And what they are saying by enhancing is that, one is by removing all current commissioners and establishing a new commission for the next elections. For sure. You see, I listened carefully to the ruling of the judges concerning the case between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta and the IEBC, when they said there was rigging. And the judges did not rule that there was actually rigging. What they said is that, yes, though we cannot see clearly whether there was rigging or not, but the processes were not followed strictly. And they said because of that, because of not following all the processes and all the criteria, that is why we are nullifying, because we want you as the IEBC to be following all the processes strictly to ensure that there will be no malpractice or there will be no rigging of election. And I think the only way to do that is not by removing people in office. Those people already have the experience. What you do is to try to enhance the capacity, provide them with what they don't have, help them fix. If it's the system, help them fix the system. You can keep on changing people, but there still be problems. We have the Hassan team. We said they have rigged. We kicked them out. We had Kivuito. We kicked him out. Now we have Chebukati. And still we are saying the only way to solve the next election problems is to ensure he is not there. What has he done? Why can't you support this person who has already gained the experience to become more effective? Imagine now, if we remove and bring a new person who is fresh, where will that person start? And these are some of the things that politicians need to ask themselves. But you know why they want every time to remove people? Is to try to put new people who will help them lead election. Even if not helping them directly, it is put their people who have no experience, put their people who are new, so that they will not be in a position to control when they are trying to rig. That is one of the problems I have noticed here. And they say this is a way of enhancing the capacity of the Independent Electoral Commission. How do you enhance the capacity? By removing all the current commissioners and establishing a new commission for the new elections. Kenyans, ask yourself, I have no problem. I am just telling you what is written. That if today the referendum goes through, all the commissioners will go home. Then they put in new people. And now we are in the season of elections. When will these people run? When will these people put down systems to ensure that the elections will be free and fair? So they are saying one thing, but when it comes now, they are saying a very good thing here. I want you to see the hypocrisy of our politicians. They tell you we want to solve your problems. But instead of solving the problems, they create more problems to the Kenyans, more problems than they are solving. Because here they are saying a very good point, that they are going to enhance the capacity of the Independent and Electoral and Boundaries Commission to deliver free and fair elections. And they are saying one way of doing that is by removing all the current commissioners and establish a new commission for the next general election. How does that enhance capacity? Ask yourself. Ask yourself. To me, as somebody with knowledge and wisdom, I would not support that. This is opening gates and doors for rigging election. You cannot tell us we are already in the season of voting in a new government, and what you are telling us to enhance the capacity of independent electoral and boundaries commission is by removing all the current members. No, 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 no. That one is suspicious. And that is why I want Kenyans to look at this document. Yes, it has so many good things, but also politicians, some of them, not all of them, some of them are trying to control the nation through deception, which I would like all the professionals to rise above board and to say we want to see a nation government governed professionally, not like a banana republic whereby every time we want to enter into a new election, there must be some things that are hidden through changing of the constitution. Because I was telling people, what is a good BBI? A good BBI is not about all these things. A good BBI is the one that the politicians will say, let us put politics aside. Let us put our selfishness aside and decide to do what is right. If I have time, I'll show you how this BBI has increased the members of parliament. If the BBI goes through, as Kenyans, we will have the largest parliament in the world. In the world. The whole of America has only 50 governors. The whole of America. Yet America has over 350 million people. Kenya. And then this is why sometimes I wonder, why can't we sweep all these people that we have? Because they are dirty people who don't care about the government, who don't care about the nation. How can somebody propose to increase more people, to add more people in the parliament, to add more people, when actually Kenyans are saying the load is too heavy? When Kenyans are saying we are paying a lot of money for salaries. Actually, we as a nation, that's why we have so many loans. We are paying and sustaining people of the highest lifestyle. And we are paying them. We are providing those cars. We are paying so many things for the members of parliament, for the senators, for the women representatives, for the county governments, for the governors. And now somebody here in this BBI is proposing as a way of solving the problems of Kenyans to increase more people. Do you know why they are doing that? Simply because they want not to offend the people who are there and to please more people. And because when they bring more people, they know automatically they are likely to continue ruling the country. Until when we stop thinking of individual gains, and now we start seeing the bigger picture of building a nation, we will continue diminishing the nation of Kenya. We will continue ruining the nation. So anybody who is proposing such things does not mean well to the nation of Kenya. Anybody who proposed, like now what I'm reading here, that one way of enhancing capacity for the IEBC is by removing all the current leaders. What is the logic? Why don't you train them more? Why don't you provide them with the right systems for them to do a good job? Because like now, if you are a chairman has no ability to lead. Leading is done on the grassroots. Are there enough systems? Are there computers and cameras to ensure that everything that happens in those polling stations is captured on cameras, is also captured on digital systems? How are we voting in the 21st century? Now, in the 21st century, you saw the proposal that the media, they are proposing that there should be no direct transmission of the votes. The vote count should not be done directly through the media. What does that mean? You are taking us back to those dark days when technology was not there. So they are preferring more of the manual system or manual way of doing things so that there will be a lot of darkness. Kenyans don't accept that. These people can afford billions to pay themselves. They can afford billions for BBI, but they cannot afford billions to enhance the capacity of independent electoral and boundaries commission. They don't have priorities. They don't have priorities, and I have no problem. So they mix good things and also at the same time put their own selfish interest in the same document. Then they say, we want to help you. We want to help you. If only Kenyans supported the proposal that was provided by Uhuru Kenyatta, that to me was the best document. But because what we call the heavyweights, because they felt this one is not favoring our interest, they are the ones who decided to shoot down that proposal by Uhuru Kenyatta, which was not actually political. To me, a good BBI is the one which is saying we already have 47 governors. We have 47, I think it's 47 senators. I am not very sure. And we have so many members of parliament. We have so many women representatives. Hello, I can see there's somebody trying to get there. There are so many women representatives. There are so many MCAs. The good document is the one which you say, America, because they borrowed so many things from America and from UK. They say America, as large as it is, America is a continent. It's not just a nation. It's a continent with over 350 million people. How many governors do they have? Kenya, we are only less with 3 governors to be the same size of the governors of America. They only have 50. Kenya has 47. Imagine. Do you ask yourself, what is wrong with us? So what was the problem? If we retained our own provincial administration and now change those names, we create the county governments according to the provincial administrations that we had. We only had 8. We would be having 8 governors. 8 governors. We had a very good system of our administration. We had a very good provincial administration system. Today we have double. We have like double government because we never abolished. Sometimes I wonder, surely, even if you are to lock me in a room for several months, tell me to come up with a good proposal of what should be done, there is nobody with a good brain or good mind or somebody who cares for the government can allow the same government to have 2 sets of leadership. The provincial administration was never abolished. That is why you see we have the county commissioners. Those are equivalent to the PCs, to the provincial commissioners. We still have those DOs. We still have everybody who was in the system. They did not think of how can we ensure we don't have two sets of people doing the same things. We have the governors. Why do we have the county commissioner? What are they doing? Surely, for those who have done human resource and management, you can see the problem. That is why there will be conflicts. That is why there will be so many troubles. So according to me, the BBI is a good document. But also there are things that it was supposed to solve, but it has not touched them. Welcome, Mose. There are so many things that are beneficial, but also they made some grave mistakes by trying to put individual interest in a good document. So we should deal with those individual interests, sort them out, throw them out. I wish the court of Kenya has that power to do it. I don't know. I don't think. I wish they have the ability to sort out what is the beneficial and remove politics and retain what is good and tell Kenyans, vote for this if you want it or you don't. There are some things I would throw out, like increasing, even America, as old as it is, it has not attained to that gender, whatever, equality. It has not attained that. Why do you want us to attain it within a day? Sir, and I have no problem with women, but I want you people to know that women are in Kenya are overrepresented already, because a governor is a governor for both women and men. A senator is not a senator only for men. Why don't we also have men representatives? And the only thing they should be doing is to enhance the capacity of women to be able to compete on equal basis with men. And if to increase, there should be some nominations by the political parties of a several number of seats, not in each and every county. That to me is overrepresentation, because all these other leaders are leaders for both genders. And that is what, to some extent, when we talk of discrimination, that is also discrimination. Because if today I become a leader, I am not a leader of men, I'll become a leader of all people. But now, Kenya, you want to attain what even the developed nations have not attained for all these years. There is a problem. Because we do this with an aim of pleasing people or bringing people who will bring vote for us as individuals. But when shall we solve the real problems of the nation? We have powerful. Let me tell you, Kenyans have no problem of electing women. You have seen we have powerful people like Mother Karoa. We have powerful people like Anne Waigoro. She has fought and become the governor. She is equal, or even she is stronger than men. So instead of making women look weak by saying women cannot compete with men, so what we do, we tell them to compete amongst themselves so that they can have women representatives. That is demeaning to the gender of women. And whoever made that proposal to me did not do any favor to women. Actually, it is downgrading the value of women. If you want women to be in offices, appoint them in those powerful offices, make them, give them the cabinet secretaries positions, ensure they have good businesses. When they have money, when women have money, when women have education, good education, when women are given opportunity, they can compete on the same basis with men. So there will be no any reason why we should say we have now, and I'm talking these things because I think we are not doing doing it well. This is what I'm thinking, and that is why we are ending up having a huge parliament in the whole world, in the whole, not only in Kenya. It shows how people have failed to think critically. I am very sure if elections are free and fair, some women are powerful and they can beat men, hands down. Give somebody like Alice Nganga good platform. I can tell you, with fairness, free and fair nominations, she will beat some men. Give Karoa and Anne Waiguru positions. They will do great work. They don't need, women don't need free nominations. And I will show you where they have said women shall be appointed by the political parties so that they can occupy the positions of women in parliament. That will bring a lot of abuse to women. That is downgrading the value of our women. That should not happen. You are opening doors for men, because most men are the owners of big political parties. Most men are the most influential. They will be demanding some things before the women are appointed in those houses. That is not what we want. We want a nation of integrity. Empower women in all these other ways. Give them knowledge, sensitize them on what is supposed to be done, support them financially, give them positions of authority and power, nominate enough women in cabinet and ministries. Then from there, they will be powerful in terms of finances. Ensure the girl child is educated just like the boy child. Then give them platform. For those who have been in school, many women are smarter than many men upstairs. So if you give them the right education, they will not need to be appointed or to be nominated by anybody. If you give them, if you empower their businesses, they will get money. They will use that money even to enter in politics. And by that, we shall reduce the number of leaders in our parliaments, in our houses. So please, give us a break. We don't want to have the largest parliament and the largest Senate in the world. Whoever came up with some of these proposals is not a critical thinker. You just want to please people instead of doing what is right. And that is the problem with our leaders. That is the problem, because Kenyans, we are saying, hey, we are tired. We are paying so many people a lot of money. Instead of going back to the economy, is just paying salaries. Now we are supposed to get the money that we collect as taxes, grow factories and industries, employ many people, instead of taking all the money and give few people in terms of members of parliament, members of Senate, members of county assemblies. And the way they misuse this money, they travel everywhere. They are always in America, in UK, in Australia, just misusing money. What we were supposed to do, and I tell people, one person who is well qualified for the job can do great work. We only need one governor, just one governor for the whole of Central Province. Just one governor. Then devolve the money. You can have other structures with only one governor in the whole of Central Province. We can only have 8 governors in the whole of Kenya, and then put down good systems. You will see the work being done. I know I'm mixing so many things, but I'm touching those things because we may not read all of them. Let us go back to the issue of IEBC. I have no problem, but we have to talk. Let us talk. Kenyans, this is a good document mixed with so many bad things. And I think the judges who are reading these things, they are feeling what I am feeling. Listen, they are saying that provide that all IBC staff serve on 3-year contracts that can be renewed only once, so that every new commission can determine its own direction rather than become a captive of the IEBC secretariat. You see, instead of building capacity for these people, they want after every election, we remove them. That is why they are saying a contract for 3 years. Those things don't happen in some countries like America. It is good to have people in office. Let them have more experience and knowledge of doing things within that field. Give them enough time to set the required systems and technology so that our elections are free and fair. But if you keep on chasing people every time after election, you chase them away, when shall we have people with the capacity to do what is right? We have to change these things. We have to change these things and do the right thing. But do you know why they're saying this? It is because the politicians, they want to have the influence every time of determining some, not all, but the top leadership. They want to be determining who becomes the leaders of the IEBC, so that we can continue with the trend of rigging and manipulating systems. As a nation, we should say no, enough is enough. Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, William Ruto, and other leaders decide to do the right thing. My expectation was that because Uhuru is a young person, I thought that he understands what ails Kenya. And I was expecting that within his last term of 5 years, he would do things right. He would ensure that he seals all the loopholes for corruption. He decided not to. I thought that he would ensure that we get good amendment to the Constitution so that resources can be shared equally across the nation. But what did he do instead? He decided to put his own personal interest in the BBI so that he may continue to be in the government. Nothing else. Some of these things, it is all about him. And that is why you listen to the argument of the lawyers who care for the nation. They said nobody is above the law. And people of Kenya, you are the most supreme. Don't allow people just to manipulate a very good document, Constitution, a very important document that governs people, that decides who becomes what. Don't allow that document just to be tampered just for the sake of it. If you feel they have not done the right thing, as Kenyans, you have the right to say no. We refuse it not because it's a bad document holistically. It is because you have put in some things that are not right. And there was a proposal by William Ruto, which I support. that Kenyans have now become enlightened. If you have 6 issues, for instance, that you want to be changed, provide 6 ballot boxes so that if I don't want the changes you have put for the IEBC, I will say no. If I don't want the changes you have put for the executives, I will say no. If I like what you have put for the resource sharing, I will say yes. And that is what we should do, so that we don't allow personal or individual interests to be put in a very important document that is supposed to rule a nation for years. The government, the constitution, it is not about the current president. The constitution is supposed to provide the roadmap on how the nation should be governed. It is not about Uhuru Kenyatta. It should not be about William Ruto. It is not about Raila Odinga. It is a document which should guide a nation for many years to come. So this issue of people not doing right now, if they don't do the right thing right now, then within no time we shall have another referendum. They can get money to do this, but they cannot get the money for the hospitals. People are still struggling to pay bills. They cannot get the money to give stimulus checks during coronavirus. People are going through a lot of hunger and suffering, but you can have money to support a document that you know this document is not serving the purpose of a good constitution. You put good things, you mix with bad things because you want to manipulate the system. When shall our leaders decide to put their selfish, personal, family interests aside and decide to do what is right? Because right now, when you do these things and you put these things, they will affect generations to come. Already we have spent billions. The team that was appointed by the president to go and come up with this proposal, they were paid a lot of money. And the other problem is that you are using money for Kenyans, but you don't account to them. I mean, why do we have that kind of a government? You use money to pay people to come up with a proposal, but you don't tell Kenyans how much money did you spend. Nobody knows how much money was spent for these proposals. We don't know how many billions. And they are saying we still have enough money to go for another referendum for the BBI, and we still have money to go for now the general election, but we don't have money for people who are suffering through corona. I saw many people here. You know, when there is a pandemic of the magnitude of coronavirus, that is the time when the government was very busy pushing for the BBI. Why? Not because it is very necessary and urgent, but because there are people who believe they are very important than Kenyans who are dying in the hospitals. I saw a lady who was saying, can anybody of influence, if you read this message, and she said, if nobody will help me, this might be my last text. And she was saying, I am running out of breath. I can't breathe because of corona. And the hospital was telling her, we don't have oxygen. We don't have oxygen. It is here. It's there in my Facebook. You can check. And within no time, the following day, she was not there. But Uhuru was still holding meetings every county for BBI. Is that leadership? I have no problem with the president. But is that a priority? I ask myself. And I want Kenyans to be asking themselves, was that a priority during a serious time like this? Then it is okay if it was meant to solve the problems of Kenyans. But how many things that are taking us backward? Right now, by appointing this man, it is the same as now taking the whole of judicial system back to be monitored by the executive. Is what you as Kenyans want. And that's why I'm telling you, I have no problem with Uhuru Kenyatta. But I have the document here. And I can see exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to put the judiciary, and this is why it is very hard for the BBI to go through. It is very hard. Because what Uhuru is assuming is that I will support Raila, become the president. Raila appoints me to become the prime minister. Then this was the idea. Then we put the judiciary under the executive. Then we can now do whatever we want with the nation. I have no problem. Anybody can become the president. But I want to state here categorically, as Mother Karua said, if you have served your term, it's like you have eaten your food, but you want to eat food that belongs to other people who have not eaten. Uhuru, you have served your 5 years as the Deputy Prime Minister of Kenya. I want to show you the greed of our leaders. 5 years. And remember, that is not where he started. People had given him so many other opportunities. The Minister of Local Government, the member of Gatodo, all those positions, Kenyans entrusted you with them. Then, as if that is not enough, they told you now, come, you have been our Deputy Prime Minister for 5 years. We want to give you 10 years to become our president. Surely, you should thank Kenyans. Tell Kenyans, thank you, I have served you. I know there are so many people who are qualified to be leaders of this nation. I am going home peacefully. And I thought Kenyans learned about being diplomatic and being gentle from our former president, Mwai Kibaki. Not that he didn't prefer anybody in his heart, but he decided, because I want democracy to thrive in our country, I'll just keep quiet. Let everybody who wants the position of power go to the field. I don't want I don't want to favor anyone. Let everybody go to the field, compete, then whoever wins, I will give the sword of leadership and go home. And go home. That is what happens. That is how it should happen. But now, I have no problem. It is your constitutional right, but you are taking the nation back. Not by supporting. By the way, I would like you to support whoever you want to support. But I would not want Uhuru to be anywhere near power. After he has served his term, he should go home. Because if it is about Kikuyus, how many Kikuyu men and women we have? How many? Who have the ability? Who are educated even than him? Who are even more qualified than him? Why should you think you should always be the one there? Kenyans have done favor to you and your family. They gave the mandate to your father for many years, 18 years, as the head of government. Then the son, 10 years as the president, and 5 years as the deputy prime minister. And still you feel that is not enough. We should manipulate the constitution. And I'm telling you for sure, my hypothesis might be 100% sure and correct. If the BBI goes through, Uhuru Kenyatta will become the prime minister of Kenya. For how many years? Nobody knows. Why? Because he has the influence, he has all the government systems, and he has all the power. Who can stop that? Who can stop that? Only you Kenyans. Only you Kenyans. Who can determine your fate and tell the president, please, it is time to go home. And we don't want anything else. Because anybody, including myself, can occupy your position. Anybody else but not you. No, Kenyans, it should reach a time whereby you should refuse to be manipulated by money. Because the money these leaders are using is your money. It's your money. I saw another time on the TV that the budget for the transport in the office of the president has shifted from 10 million to 290 million. And nobody is asking why. What has changed? It is simply because it is in the election period. So we must look for ways of bringing money. There should be, in fact, in this time from now, the budget in the office of the president should be cut, not being increased. Where is he going? Let him stay there. Serve the nation. Don't misuse the money that is meant to develop the nation because you're going home. No, Kenyans are just being patient, but we feel bad. And that is why I am saying, I don't know when we shall have another Kibaki. A man who loved the nation. A man who meant well for the country. Uhuru, you meant well for the country, but along the way, you have changed the focus. And now you are just thinking on how Uhuru should be replaced by Kenyatta. Because, yes, people can say, I don't know what I'm saying. I can analyze. And I can tell you for sure. The handshake was all about Uhuru Kenyatta inheriting himself through the back door. And that's why we have all this messy BBI. BBI is very important. And from the beginning, I have been saying, just like the other team was saying, during the banana and chungwa, whatever, there was a team which was saying, yes, this constitution is good, but it has some grave mistakes that you have made. Let us rectify them. Instead of within no time, then we go for another referendum. This exercise, it uses billions of money. Kenya, how rich are we? That after a very short period of time, we must change the constitution just to suit the current leadership. It should not be like that. Good Kenyan is the one who is saying, yes, we know there are problems with that constitution. But can we first implement what we changed? We have not implemented. But we want to change again and use billions. I know. Apana. They should give us a break. They should give us a break. Because the problem is not the constitution. Kenyans don't fight because of the constitution. Kenyans fight because of the mouth of our leaders. Because they think we must incite people against the others. That is why today you see Uhuru very busy, waking up, this supporting some parties here, support some party there, support some parties there, and call them now the tribal parties to contain people in tribes. When we want to break the barriers of those tribes, Kenyans want to marry each other. Kenyans want to live together. Kenyans want to belong to any party. But now I can see even the bitterness of seeing another person penetrating in some areas. I think we should be civilized more than that. And our leaders, whom I think they are educated, they went to school, some of them, they went to school in America, they went to school in Austria, they went to school in Germany and UK. The ones who have seen there is no value in tribalism, they are the ones who are using divide and rule policy. And now in the constitution, they want to put here, and I want you to see this, that to ensure that as many people of different tribes are included in the government. What they should do is to ensure that all people in Kenya are equal. So long as you have the capacity, you can occupy any position. And Kenyans, we move from the aspect of looking people in terms of their tribes. We see people in terms of the capability of their brain. You can have somebody of your tribe, but he has no capacity to run the government. And that is the only way we can avoid electing idiots in the government. And then the nation suffers for many years. It is by saying it doesn't matter which tribe you come from. I want to know, first of all, what is your qualification? Let us first of all think of what is your qualification. Number one, qualification is not just education. Show us where you have served before and how you performed. Think about that. Because somebody with no history of doing things diligently will not just wake up and perform. Or a miracle. There is no miracle will change a person within a day. If it is somebody's character not to perform, that person will not perform. An aggressive person is aggressive by nature. A wise person is wise by nature. A dull person is dull by nature. You will not change that. So people elect anybody so long as they belong to our family. People elect anybody so long as they have big names. Then I heard somebody saying, surely, Aturi, Uhuru is very young. I am also young. I should also be given a position. There's how many young people do we have? Yet they don't have jobs. Why do you think, Uhuru, you are so special that you should continue to be in government? What value do you think you are adding? We voted for you. Not for you to remain there. It's for you to serve your term. Go home. Period. Let others do the job. That is the only... You see, such things that are happening today, they should not happen. They should not happen. Because I was expecting that Kenya will keep on growing and moving from one step to the other. Moi did a very good job because Moi decided, okay, let me do the right thing. Moi had the ability of staying in power for some more years, but he said, okay, I will hand over. Yes, and this is what I want Uhuru to do, so that you people may understand me clearly. Moi supported Uhuru properly, but after Uhuru was defeated, he handed over power to Kibaki peacefully, and he did not want any position. So Uhuru support Raila Odinga, support Azimio kabisa. But after Raila wins, leave him to power and go home. Let him form his government. That is what I am saying. If you must support him, but don't be appointed or get any position in the executive. We don't want you. Because we don't know the things you have already done and you want to hide in government. The nation of Kenya will not move on like that. Yes, support Raila Odinga, so that if you are genuine, and Kenyans want to know if you are genuine. If you are genuine, support Raila Odinga. After he becomes the president, pack your things, go home, let him run the nation. Let him form his own government. But don't be there to control what is happening. Kenyans, you should be tired of being manipulated. You should be tired of people playing around with your money. There was an exposure of Pandora paper that money are out there, billions belonging to Uhuru and the family. Then he said, when I come back, I am coming to account. I am coming to account about those billions and where they come from. When he came, has he ever spoken about it? We want to know. He is our leader. A leader. Like here in America, everything is put in the open. It's put in the open. But somebody who is not telling Kenyans about something that has been exposed, not by Citizen TV, not by Nation, not by Kenyan media, by the international media. He cannot tell Kenyans this money came from here. But still, he feels he has the prerogative and he has the authority to tell Kenyans about others. You start with yourself. Be accountable to the people of Kenya. Then after you have been accountable, you have the authority to ask others to be accountable. Hello, Kenyans, are we not tired? Are you not tired? When I read this BBI document here, I have seen so many good things. But also they have put things that are taking us back. They don't even want the police to be independent. Why? Because they can determine who will be arrested, who should be harassed, who should be in jail, and who should not. Imagine when the government, do you know why? Moi was a good man. But do you know why he did very bad things? Because the Constitution had not put limits to the power of the president. And that is exactly why Kenyans said, no, we have to get ourselves a new document to reduce the power of the president. Anybody, even a good pastor, can be bad, even in the church. If you don't put limits to yourself, that those limits, they are helping you not to misuse money, even for the church. If you don't have limits, you'll find yourself wanting more, because that is the nature of human beings. But now, the limits that we have put for the president and for the executive, they want to remove them. Where will they take us? Backward. The nation should push forward. And the former president, Kibaki, did a lot of good things. He tried not to overstep. That is why he said, Kenyans, thank you. You have given us. I remember Kibaki rebuking somebody who made a poem saying that if I am to be asked, I would say, because you are so good and you have performed very well, I would ask that you continue. Then Kibaki almost said Kubav. Because anybody who is advising the president, that the president, you are so good, you should continue. That is not somebody who loves the nation. How many people who are good, but they don't have positions? How many people who are good, but they have never been given opportunities to serve like we have given you, Uhuru, and your family for all these years? I also had another crazy proposal. Another crazy proposal. I don't know where it came from, but I heard it being talked about somewhere. You know, Uhuru is our president. I woke up at 5 to go and elect you. I voted for you. But when you are doing what is right, we have to call you out and tell you, no, we love you, we like you, we respect you, but can you do the right thing for the nation of Kenya? Make sure, and this is my request, make sure that the money of the Republic of Kenya that is supposed to go for development, even now when we are in this period of election, does not go to politics. Let money for development, let money for the government go to the government. Ensure you are accountable to the nation of Kenya to the last minute. But I see somebody with a zeal to determine the fate of the nation for another decade. And after that, I don't know whether you'll be okay. Uhuru, a human being will never be comfortable. A human being will never be satisfied. I want you to be satisfied with over 20 years that you have served in the government of Kenya. God, you have everything. You have money everywhere. Do you know what will happen? Kenyans will get tired with you. They would want now to know more about you and what you are hiding. And thinking that you are doing well to yourself, it might backfire. Because even God will not allow some things to continue happening. The nation of Kenya want to move forward. If you are there, you'd like to join us, let us talk about the country of Kenya. And my point here is one. I don't have any problem with the president of Kenya supporting anybody he wants to support. But he should have one thing and make it clear to Kenyans that I don't want any position. The only thing I want is to support Raila Odinga, become the president. If he becomes the president, I hand over power to him and I go home. If he does not become president, whoever becomes president, I hand over the power and I go home. And I let the nation of Kenya be. You found a peaceful country. Live us peacefully. You found a united Mount Kenya. You are likely to live a scattered, disorganized Mount Kenya. Why? The way of doing politics. The way of doing politics. Try to do decent politics. It is, disheartening to see the president trying to divide people. Kenyans, remain one thing. Vote for whoever you want. I would be happy to see Kalenjins voting for rules and say, okay, if you see Raila Odinga will add value to the nation of Kenya, vote for him. Don't think of, because Ruto is my man, I must vote for him. And the vice versa. If you see that William Ruto will add value to the nation of Kenya, vote for him, regardless of his tribe. And you should be comfortable. Because the issue of tribe in the 21st century, it should not play any role. Those nations that don't talk about tribes, they have developed, they have grown, they are moving on. We should feel free as Kenyans to marry whoever we want to marry. And not allow these politics to be dividing you. People are the same. Nobody is special. I should not think because I'm a Kikuyu, I am special than a Luo. Because those are the things that were created by our forefathers. It is deception. And Uhuru thinks in the 21st century, he can use the same method of trying to group people into tribes, then continue ruling them. Kenyans, it is not everything that is done by the president is right. It is not. I have no problem, but I see there is something wrong. And those who are being grouped to go back into tribal cocoons, they should tell the president, no, I think we have built this. These are professionals. They know exactly this is not how it's supposed to be. But they feel it is okay. It is okay. It is not okay. I have come to tell you, it is not okay. When I look at the nation, some nations that God has given me an opportunity to travel and see them, I wonder, because these people have traveled everywhere, don't they feel bad when they see that we have not tarmacked most of our roads? They don't feel bad that even just collection of garbage in our nation is a problem. They don't feel bad that when it rains, that our markets look filthy. But they're very proud with suits. Surely. But they are not doing the right thing. We should call them out. You should call them out. You can spend billions for a futile exercise at the expense of the nation. Keep people in boardrooms every time. They are doing, you are paying them. But what they come up with, why you keep them for so many days, is because you want them to write exactly what you want as a person. Kenya does not belong to one person. This Kenya was there during the time of Kenyatta. It is still there. We will die, all of us who are listening to me, and Kenya will remain to be there. We should see it that way. So whatever we put in our constitution, it should not just be for today and during our lifetime. And this is what I want to tell Uhuru Kenyatta. You see, today you think you are very young. In the next 30 years, you'll be a very old man. But the things you did, or the things you are putting in the constitution, they will affect the generations to come. And we shall remember you, and the generations will remember you for those things. And even when you go before God, you'll be accountable for those things you did. can our leaders do what is beneficial to the nation, not to themselves? So, Kenyans, I am telling you this, and this is my thinking. For us to stop these leaders from doing everything they think they can do because they have money, because they have power, is to tell them, no, go back to the boardroom. Come up with a document that we want. We want to reduce the members of parliament. We want to reduce the women representatives. We want to reduce the senators. We want to reduce the county governments, because that is where the problem is. The more you increase these people, the more you increase thieves. If this document, which I have here, goes through, Kenya will have the largest Senate and the largest parliament in the whole world. In the whole world. What are we doing? What are we doing? Then they are saying, on the issue of BBI, they should ensure that returning officers should be contracted on a part-time basis and should not oversee more than one general election. What is that? Part-time basis. So that they can always have fresh people whom they can manipulate. Instead of putting people in as important body as the IEBC, equip them with the right instruments, systems, support, and let them gain experience in whatever they are doing so that we can have credible elections. You want people to be on part-time basis. They go. So that in the next time you have new people whom you can manipulate. And they are saying, open up qualifications for the chairmanship of the IEBC so that it is not a preserve for lawyers. A chair should be anyone with at least 15 years experience in a senior management level. I have no problem with that. Make the chairman of the IEBC the chief executive officer of the commission so that he is not undermined by the secretary, who is currently the CEO. That is fine because it avoids the conflict. And finally, which I have the problem with here, on the IEBC, they are saying, give the leaders of political parties a role in the recruitment of IEBC commissioners to enhance support for the commission from political contestants. Seriously? We should only have qualified panel of people interviewing people who are qualified for the job. Why should political parties? Why should politicians? These are some of the things that Kenyans should question themselves. They should question, why did they put some of these things? For us to have credible elections, the IEBC process of recruitment should not involve politicians. It should only involve professionals, human resource professionals, to look for the most qualified person for the job. Put that person in the job who is not influenced or who has not been influenced to occupy the position. But now here they are saying that they give the leaders of political parties. I mean, they are saying Uhuru, being the leader of Jubilee, should be given a role. Raila Odinga be given the role. William Ruto be given the role. How will they be given the role? To elect the person who will decide for the election. They should not play any role. And this is why I'm saying this document is not good for the nation of Kenya. It is taking us back. It is taking us back. Let the professionals do their work. Let the politicians do their work. Yes, politicians, you might be a professional, but because you have the interest, let us have an independent IEBC whereby you have no any influence. People that maybe you don't even know, let them decide. Let them just oversee the election and ensure it is free and fair. Hello? Okay, inclusivity. Let us see what they're saying here. I want us to see, to look at the judiciary. I wish I'll show you what they're saying on the judiciary. This is devolution. Okay, let us first of all look at the devolution and what they're saying about devolution. It's very important to know about these things. And I wish Kenyans, you follow this and understand this. Because politicians will come, talk about things, these things in the car, tell you only the good things, but they will not pinpoint what is wrong, so that you can make an informed decision. It's very important. That is why I've decided to come here and we talk about these things. They are saying this on devolution. Retain all the 47 counties, but encourage and assist counties to form regional economic blocks. Retain all of them, 47. But we had said Kenyans are very tired. And as I have told you now, because we are talking of devolution, America, superpower. America is a superpower. A superpower, it means, is the richest nation in the world. It has the capacity. It has the money. Do you know how many governors they have? Only 50. With a population of over 350 million. Kenya, how many are we? America is around 7 times. The population is 7 times larger than the population of Kenya. But how many governors do they have? Only 50 governors. How many governors do we have in Kenya? 47. Only 3 governors shy to be the same size with the governors of America. Seriously? Is that now what we call wisdom? Is that the best we can do as a nation? Is that what we call devolution? It is good to have devolution. It is good for people to be represented, but this is over-representation. One person who is well qualified for the job is enough to become a leader of a whole former province. And the other problem is that we never came up with a clear roadmap on how we should ensure we don't have double government. Because right now, we have all the system of the former government in place. And now we also have, or we have added, the new government of the county government. Is that what we call now? Is that the best we can do as a nation? Then we say we don't have money. We don't have money. We don't have money. Because what we were supposed to do, all the people who were in the former government, or when we were coming up now with the new devolution of 2010 constitution, we were supposed to pay all those people who were in that government, those who don't want now to remain in the county government. We pay them their dues. We pay them their unfair termination. We terminate the contract so that we can start afresh. And now we set now good county governments. But now we have county commissioners and we have the governors, the same place. What are they doing? What are their roles? Professionals, I want you to ask yourself. We don't have clear governments, clear roles, and that is why you see sometimes governors, they are clashing with the county commissioners because these things are confusion. We don't need 2 governments. We should only have a way in which the county governments should work well with the national government. That's all. That's all. You don't have representatives of the national government in the county governments. Now I'm talking as a professional. It defeats my logic to see such kind of setting in our country. Yet, these people, instead of solving the problems that are affecting the nation, things that are supposed to be solved, this BBI is solving other things. It is solving totally different things. Let's see. They are saying here we should not reduce even one county, but we should retain all of them. Why? Because they don't want people to complain, the governors to complain that they are losing their positions and all that. Sometimes for the nation to go well, some sacrifices must be made. Some mistakes must be corrected. As a nation, we made a mistake of copying what is in other countries and just bringing in our country and paste there as people who don't think. If you put professionals without politicians in boardrooms, professionals without the influence of politicians, they can come up with a good document that will solve all the problems of Kenya. And I pray that one day we will have leaders who will say, no, let us do the restructuring of the governance of our country. Put professionals and tell them without the influence, go do your job. Come up with the right document without being influenced by individuals. We will solve all these problems. But today, over 50% of the money is going to salaries. Almost 70%. That is why everything else, and that's why sometimes you don't have to blame Uhuru Kenyatta by these loans. You gave Uhuru Kenyatta the wrong constitution to implement. And he has to implement. And he has to look where to get money. We are borrowing money almost for everything. But now we are complaining that we don't have money, that the debt has gone up so much. It is not the problem of the president. It's the problem of the constitution. But now, the same president who is supposed to help us because he is going home, instead of thinking on how can I fix these problems, then I go home. Because if I was the one on my last term, I would not think of anything else. Because this is the time not to think of favor from anybody. He is, you say it is my last term, I have to do what is right. He would be fighting to ensure that the salaries go to the right level. Those that are overpaid, how should we reduce these salaries? Those positions that are not supposed to be there, ensure in the government, in the next government, they are not there. We don't need 47 governors. We don't need 47 senators. Surely, do we need? Why even do we have in a small country as Kenya? Why do you have the Senate and the parliament in a small country of 50 million people? 50 million people. How many senators are there in America in a population of 350 million and above? Only 100. And they determine and they make laws. The problem of over-representation is what is affecting our country. And I thought Uhuru would help us. Instead of helping us, he is thinking on how to continue his rule. On your last term, these are the things you'd be fighting for. Because you know the struggle of implementing 2010 Constitution. You know why you have borrowed all this money we are blaming you for. But you don't want to fix the problem. You want just to continue having a big name. That is the problem I'm having with you. Otherwise, I don't have any problem with you. I have a problem with you because you had a chance of helping us, or even if you don't do everything, you had a chance of doing something. Point number 2, they are saying here on devolution, increase resources to the countries by at least to the counties. And you see here there is grammatical error. They are saying countries. It is not countries. It is to the counties. Increase resources to the counties by at least that 5% of the last audited accounts. This is another problem. It is okay to put there 35%. I support this 100%. But the problem and the question I am asking myself, because the current constitution does not bar the resources to be allocated beyond or above 15%, because 15% is just the minimum. They have not set the maximum. All what was required is to have government of goodwill to see the growth and the development of the nation and say, because this is what we want, we will give the counties 35%. Uhuru, you are telling us you want us to be put in the constitution. I have no problem. It should be put. But why have you not done it in your 10 years so that we can say he is genuine? And this is the kind of hypocrisy with which I'm saying, Kenyans, you should look at these things. Uhuru and the team, they are telling us how the counties don't have enough money. But nobody has told the president and his team not to give the counties money. Yet, him and his government has the power to disperse money to the counties. But he is telling us we need to put it in the constitution, that 5%. For us to believe that it is practical, it is applicable, for us to believe that it can happen in a practical way, why haven't you done that? Yet you have been occupying the government for all these years. Now because you want to remain in power, and I pray that they continue obstructing the BBI so that your vision of continuing in power is hindered. Now, because you want to remain in power, you are putting sweeteners in the constitution so that when people are voting for that 5% for the counties, they also vote for the position of a prime minister, who is Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, you are making me be very tired with the name Kenyatta. I don't know if other people get tired, but any critical thinker should be tired. Because we can see what you are trying to do. We can see clearly. We can see it. We can see it. Not that we are stupid. We are not. Even if you don't tell us, we think what you are not telling us. We are trying, for those who have done psychology like me, I try to interpret what the anger in Uhuru is. When the court says this BBI has problem, it should not go on. You see the president being so bitter because he knows he was promised the position of a prime minister. And he becomes so angry with the whole judiciary. He has been sabotaging almost everything, disobeying the court orders because he is so bitter with the judiciary. No, Mr. President, a constitution is the governing document. It should not be tailored to suit an individual. A constitution should be tailored to give the guidelines for the government for a long period of time. We should allow the democracy of our nation to thrive and to grow. Why should anybody try to manipulate the constitution to suit him to continue in power? It is wrong. It is wrong, and it should be condemned by any Kenyan. Not a Kikuyu, I am a Kikuyu. But I don't see any benefit of saying Uhuru must be there to fight for my interests. No. We want to see the systems. Like now the 35%, put it there, but don't put 35%. Then you put the prime minister, and you are saying this prime minister should be appointed by the president. And the president now, you have your own president that you want to put in power so that this president can appoint you. This is the kind of confusion we don't want. Put the right thing in the BBI and we shall pass it. Kenyans, let us tell the president the truth. What we don't want is your personal interest in an important document as the Constitution of Kenya. Otherwise, instead of having individual interest in an important document as the Constitution of Kenya, it is better if we remain with the one we have. That is my take. That is my take. And that is what I think. Instead of passing the Uhuru plans in the BBI to continue in leadership, let us remain with the 2010 Constitution. Instead of putting the whole judicial system of Kenya, the judiciary, under the executive, let us remain with the 2010 Constitution. Instead of taking away the independence of the police, let us remain with the 2010 Constitution. But some of the proposals are good. Like now, this one of 35% is good. The only question I'm asking, why haven't you given us 35%? To show Kenyans that you mean well for the country. Then let's continue to read what they are proposing on devolution. When dividing revenue between the counties, use a formula that focuses on ensuring service reach the actual settlements of people to that resources are not allocated on the basis of an inhabited landmass. Yeah, this is a good point. 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 But also, they should know that people in those uninhabited land, they have more hardships than those people. Why people populate a certain area? It is both because that area has favorable climate and favorable amenities, like water, roads, all good things. Why we have so many people in Nairobi? Because their jobs, there are good roads. You know why we have so many people in Central is because the land is fertile and they can do farming and all that. So they should also have a proposal on, yes, it is okay not to allocate resources to the land mass, but also look at those people who stay in that place. How can they also get something, at least extra, to help them? Because I have gone to these places. I have been to Rodwa, my friend. Those people, the way they live there, oh my God, they need consideration. So this is a good, very good proposal, especially for us, people from Central Kenya. Because right now, what is happening in Central Kenya, we don't have money. This is a good proposal, very good. And that's why I said there are some good things here. Because I don't see why we should allocate money for the land without people. But also we should also have to ensure that those areas are not neglected. How should the government develop those areas so that people are not congested in one place and dispersed to those other places? Why these areas are uninhabited, it is because the conditions, the weather conditions and other factors are not favorable for human beings. So for those people who have stayed there, the government should ensure they get what they require to continue staying there. So this is a good proposal. It's a good proposal there. Finalize the transfer of functions from the finalize the transfer of functions from the national to county governments and eliminate all duplicity of functions between the two levels of government. Now you can see like now this one is a good one. But now this is what I was asking. Why should we now not wait? First of all, we transfer all the functions. We implement the changes of that we are proposed, not even proposed, that are supposed to be made through 2010 Constitution. After we have implemented everything, then we can see what is working and what is not working. Then from there, now we can have all those changes made together. And this is the problem I'm having. What is happening? We do this referendum. After we have implemented everything, then we shall realize there are so many other problems. So what is supposed to be done? Implement first. Implement everything. After you have implemented everything, know the areas that have problem. Then after that, what do? Now we can have a referendum for those areas. In the issue of resource sharing, it is not a must we change the constitution. There should be no hurry. These are things that can be done in parliament through the act of parliament. And that is why we have the members of parliament there. The only thing we need right now is leaders with goodwill to do the right thing. People who will say, can we put our personal interest aside? Can we put our political differences aside? It is we don't vote for these people to go and compete, because that is what I see. We don't vote for you to go and try to show who is powerful than who. No, it doesn't make sense. We put you in those houses to go and come up with laws that are beneficial to the nation. But you go there to test each other. You go there to compete with one another. Surely. So all these things, I believe they can wait for another at least 5 or 10 years. Then after we have implemented the 2010 Constitution, the whole of it, now we identify all those areas. And when we do that, we should just tell the politicians, give your proposals. All your proposals, we put them together, and people's proposals, then lock the professionals. Tell them, go, come up with a document that we shall take without influencing them. But now what happens? We tell them, yes, they are professionals, but we tell them what to write. That is why we are in this mess. Because even the 2010 Constitution was political to a larger extent. If you want us to solve the problems of Kenya, put your differences aside, do the right thing, and the nation will move forward. But if even now you still want to do the wrong thing to favor you, we shall never grow as a nation, because you are creating more problems and troubles than solving them. If you rock me in the house and those proposals, even without the help of other people, I am telling you, even without being a lawyer, I know exactly what is ailing the nation of Kenya. And I know even you, Uhuru, and your team, you know, but you have refused deliberately to do what is right. Now, I thought in your last term of the 5 years, you do the nation the favor and do the right thing. Give us, if it is these changes, give us the best changes. Help us and go home. But now you even don't have time. You had the chance. Raila Odinga brought his number. You had your number. There was a time you had the largest number in parliament when you were supposed to change all the bad things before you go home. You lost the opportunity. You had a chance of giving us the best BBI. You started thinking about yourself. I will put this for myself. I will put this for myself. I will put this for myself. Then because I'll be in the next government, I'll make sure we control the executive. We control the police. Everything now. Create a powerful executive. That is not what Kenyans want. I don't think so. I don't. So, finalize let's go to point number 5. Follow the maxim money. Follow the maxim money follows functions in allocating money between the two levels of government. Parastatals carrying out county functions should be either wound up or restructured. This should be with the implementation of the already completed parastatal reforms policy. That's a good thing. And that is what I'm saying. There are so many people who are doing the same functions. And that is what we call role conflict. Role conflict in the counties and everywhere. 7, consider how ward representatives can have oversight of funds intended for bursaries only, while ensuring that CDF funds do not clash with the development imperatives of counties. That is a good proposal. It's a good proposal also because it will help money to go down to the common mwananchi, to the schools, the bursaries and all that. That would be a good thing. But for me, I think they should look for a way in which the governor and these MCAs and the members of parliament should work together. Why should we have money for the bursaries and money for CDF separated? Why can't we have one working government decide what percentage in a county goes for bursaries, and then you say this money, the person to oversight is the member of parliament, not to have the member of parliament receiving the money for CDF and the MCAs receiving money for bursaries. It should be the money, all the money should be managed at the county level. Then this money from the county be dispersed to the people without all these things. But because what happens? When you give the money for CDF to the MCAs, we are not very sure whether that money would be managed properly. All money should be put in one cup. And then that money have the criteria on how the money from the county should be divided to the people. Because the members of parliament, they should work in the parliament coming up with laws, and people be sensitized about the laws of the members of parliament so that they don't expect development from the members of parliament. The same case with the MCAs, so that these MCAs play the roles of oversight of what the governor and the systems of governments are doing. But because people, we want to please the members of parliament, we tell them, okay, have money for CDF. Or we want also to make the MCAs happy, okay, we will give them the money for bursaries. Sometimes, we borrowed things that are not necessary from the Western governments. But the things that are important, we didn't borrow. We borrowed the system of government. We came up with the Senate, which we didn't require. We came up with a large parliament, which we didn't require. But the management of finances, we never tried to borrow from a country like the United States. Things are done very well. Oh my God. When Corona came and it was decided that children are going to be running from home, every child went home with a laptop. How it happened, nobody knows. And nobody keeps on telling people children are having laptops because the systems are working. Within no time, children are receiving books in their houses. I mean, working systems. But now we we use the money for the country to give to the people, and these people, they use the same money to keep on bragging. But what we have sent them to do, they don't do it properly. We should remove the money from the members of parliament, remove the money from MCAs, give them salaries to go and oversight. Don't let them be controlling money. That's where we miss the point. It doesn't happen. And the issue of financial management, that is an important thing that you would have borrowed from UK, borrow from other countries that are doing very well. The issue of ensuring there is no corruption, you didn't borrow that. You borrowed things that do not fit in our country. It's just a proposal. We have the link there on the sometimes don't worry, sometimes I become very serious when I think of some of these things. Some of the problems of our country can be solved within 1 year. But because the leaders of Kenya lack goodwill, we will continue suffering. So we have the link there. We have the link there. If any one of you wants to come and say something, we have time. You have any question on the BBI? I have the document with me. We shall go through it. We shall read it. And we shall try to seek answers. So here, there they have said very well that parastatal carrying out county functions should be either wood up. They should have done it, not even putting it. You know, we already have the constitution. Sometimes it's funny. We don't require these things even to be put. We already have the constitution, which came up with the county government. So if there was a parastatal which was carrying out the functions of the county government, automatically it was supposed to be removed a long time ago. We don't need it in the BBI. We don't require it in the BBI. That should be implemented. There should be no question about it. So this is what I was talking about, restructuring. This restructuring was supposed to be done within the first 3 years. Actually, not even 3, 1 year. Look at all the things that are supposed to be structured. The second year implement, the third year implement. By now, we should be having a learning government. Put your energy to what is important. 10 years without implementing a constitution is a very long time. A very long time to implement. But still, we are far away from doing what is right. Do you know why? Lack of goodwill. Lack of leaders who are motivated by goodwill to do the right things. Who will help us? Who will help our country, Kenya? These people you see, you think they are working for you? All they are doing is to steal money. Steal money, start businesses all over the world for themselves, not for the country. That is why the SGR, which was supposed to be a government and private sector project, they removed the private sector, they leave it to the government so that they can inflate the prices, they receive kickbacks and remain with some money. Then you have the railway. Those are the kind of people we have. But they tell you, when they are talking, they talk harsh and big. You think they are working for you. They are not. They are not. They are not. They are not working for us. They are working for their stomachs. They are working for their children and their wives. That is why you see some of them, they are stealing together with their wives and their children. It is sad, very sad. And that is why I'm saying, maybe one day we shall have a leader who is a don't care in the government of Kenya, who will say, can we now have an audit? Can we put down the structures, the laws to ensure we can do the audit from 1963. We start there. From those who received the government, whatever they store and they can be traced, we get it back. We get it back. Because you cannot tell us you are going to fight corruption or you are going to solve the large issues if your father stole for you. Now you think Uhuru can fight corruption? Seriously? You think Uhuru can seriously fight corruption? Yet you ask them, where did you get all these hectares? Why did you get the land that is equivalent to a province? How much was your father earning as a president? Can he really explain? Now then you think he will solve the corruption issues, even if you give him another 50 years to become the president of Kenya. He will not have the authority or the will to do it because people will question him. Tell us, where did you get all these things? It's not because of hard work. Those billions you hear, it is not hard work. It is not. That is why he might be wanting to do it, to fight corruption. But he cannot. Because people will question him. And that's why I'm saying those people you have elected as the members of parliament, they should come up with laws to say we want to wipe out all the sins that were committed from the time of independence. Everybody who served in the first government, even if they are dead, their properties, because the government has the records, they should go through all those and see who stole what, and whatever can be traced, be turned back to the government. That land, those thousands of acres, be taken back to the government. Even if it means compensating those people, give them something small, let them, because some of this land is not even, it is underutilized. It's underutilized. Why do you want all this? Why do you want all these people? People who served in the first government. I know they are not there. Many of them, they are dead. But their children are still holding the properties that were stolen by their father, holding the land that was stolen from the people. Don't tell us about the willing buyer and willing seller. You should ask yourself, how much was my father being paid to get all this? Why do you think he was the only one who can acquire all that through money? Where did he get the money that other men are not getting? Yet the president is not the highest paid person in the country. It is corruption. It is the corruption. It is corruption. Not just the first president, even his cabinet, they did the same. So anybody who served in the first government, that is where the problems of Kenya started. If you want the best BBI, return what was stolen. So that anybody, after we have taken all the roots, we have taken all the money that was stolen from the government, we have taken back all the land, we shall now become on the equal basis. An ordinary person like me, if I want to become a politician in Kenya, if I want to become a president, it becomes very hard. Why? Because I don't have money to compete with somebody like Uhuru Kenyatta, who comes from the Kenyatta family. It's very hard for a commoner to compete with Raila Odinga, who comes from the family of Odinga, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who was the vice president of Kenyatta. Today, very few people, unless you have stolen money. That is why sometimes you keep on blaming Ruto. You think Ruto did not know that as a commoner, there is no way he can face those three families. So even if you are saying he stole because your father stole. Then your father set the pace. For us to stop this, whoever has stolen should take back the money. And we should have laws for us to make sure what belongs to the people goes back to the people. Then when we equalize now people by taking back what belongs to the people, people now will be equal. We shall not have people who are extremely rich, but they cannot explain where they got their wealth from. Then from there, anybody can become the president. So you are telling people not to steal so that you can continue being leaders because you have billions. If Kenyans are not careful, those who stole will rule them until the end of the world. If nothing is done, if nothing is done, some of these families will continue to be in leadership as long as they exist. Even their children, the children of their children, they will become the leaders of our children and the children of our children. Because they have the money. They have the money. That is why they have the power. That is why they are not ashamed to say, to speak boldly, the kind of campaign we shall do. Is because they have the money. They have the ability to do all that. But you, the sufferer, you, the hustler, you, the commoner, where can you get the money? You can have the education because maybe you are sponsored by somebody. But you don't have money to compete with these people. That is why you see somebody like Abdul Badida. He has good ideas. Dr. Ekuru Aukot, he has good ideas, even coming up with a proposal for the constitutional change. As a smart guy, but he keeps on talking, but nobody is listening because the shadow of the giants cannot allow him to be seen or to be heard. We must remove the shadow of the giants so that everybody can be heard on equal basis. But you keep there talking, but you don't have money. The precedence which has been set in the nation of Kenya is that if you don't have money, nobody listens to you. Because people believe that you must give me something for me to listen to what you're saying. So we miss opportunities. We missed a very good document that Ekuru Aukot proposed to Kenyans, which was reducing the burden from the shoulders of Kenyans. Then we are there supporting another trash, which came from Uhuru. These are trash. We refused what would have helped people. And now we are embracing something that is full of confusion. Full of confusion. It is only the judiciary right now which can help Kenyans. If the judiciary does not help Kenyans, then Kenyans, you are doomed to be ruled by some people forever. Because if this time around, they get a chance of doing what they want, from there, and you remember me, they will rule the nation of Kenya forever. Let us be careful. Let us be very, very, very careful. We want the people of Kenya to be competing not on the basis of the money they have, not on the basis of where they came from, not on the basis of their tribes, but on the basis of qualification and the mental capability that they have. If we do that, Kenya has the ability of moving to the next level. It has the ability. Some of these people, you tell them that you slept hungry, they ask you if you were fasting or if you were sick. They don't believe that you cannot get money for a meal because per day their personal expenditure is like 10 million per day, one person. So that's why you ask them, why is it that Kenyans don't have money? They say, I don't know. they think is that they have failed to think. Okay. The running mate of every candidate for the position of governor should be of the opposite gender. This is a good proposal, but I don't think it should be like that. I don't know why it should be like that, because I don't know if in any other country they have done such a thing. I believe people should be allowed to compete with freedom. Don't put such unnecessary restrictions that if a woman becomes the governor, must get a man to become the deputy governor. Some of these things don't help. Whether a woman, whether a man, what we need is people who are qualified to do the job. That is, to me, is an unnecessary proposal. Unnecessary proposal. It should not be there in the Constitution in the first place. It doesn't help. Where a county fails to appoint a deputy within 90 days of a vacancy, the Speaker of the County Assembly shall, with the approval of the County Assembly, do so. That's fine. Let me see. Limit arbitrary, nepotistic, or crony recruitment of human resource that ignores merit and inclusivity by replicating the independence of the Public Service Commission in every county service board. Okay, that's a good proposal. That's a good one. Those two are okay. The thing which I was looking at, and the thing that I wanted Kenyans to look at, we have been having these problems with the governors and their deputies. I think it is okay to let the governor appoint somebody that he thinks he can work with him. And also, they were supposed to put it there that the governor is free to fire the deputy governor. That way, you will see the deputy governor working very well with the governor, and they will perform. But now what happens? You appoint somebody. You are the governor. And here even the governors can be killed. You appoint somebody. Then that person, after you have appointed that person to work as your deputy, you cannot fire that person. You cannot fire that person. You don't have the power to fire that person. And if you die, the deputy becomes the governor. Those people automatically, you have created two bulls, and two bulls cannot stay together. If you want work to be done, one person must have higher authority than the other person. That way, we won't have these problems you have been seeing in the counties, whereby the governor, most of the governors, they don't have conducive work relationship with their deputies. Because some people, when they know you cannot sack them, they will really disturb you. But if somebody knows you have the power to terminate their contract, there will be submissive to you. So I think even if we say the president should not fire the deputy, that it should not be the same on other positions. That was something I was thinking they should address. They should solve that problem. They should solve that problem. And they are saying here, transfer the health sector personal element from county government to an independent health service commission to enable sharing of the very limited health experts. That is fine. In fact, my proposal would be because we are still growing and the economy is still growing, the health sector should remain under the national government, the health sector, to ensure that all Kenyans everywhere receive a standard health service. That is what I would propose. But this one is also good to transfer the health sector personnel element from county government to an independent health service commission to enable sharing of the very limited health experts. For me, I would propose the whole health sector be taken back to the national government so that the health sector may grow uniformly in the whole of the country. Employ austerity measures at the National Hospital Insurance Fund. That's fine. Draft and adopt a patient bill for right to standardize the quality of healthcare across all counties. Yeah, this one is good. Strengthen the oversight, independence of county assemblies by ensuring that blah, blah, blah. That is fine. Limit the number of persons that a county government can employ in relation to the number of people it serves and the function it discharges. This one should have been done in the first place, not even here. This one was supposed to be done in the first year of Uhuru's government. Some of these things are not supposed actually to be put in the constitution. What is the work of the parliament? These are some of the things they were supposed to do the first year, because it should not be left to the county governors or county administration to decide how many employees they should have. I don't think so. These limits were supposed to be there from the beginning to avoid losing money by having so many people than the work that the county governments have. Counties to budget more development money to respond to specific needs, blah, blah. Biashara mashinani. There should be high priority efforts by every county to support local groups to develop businesses through partnership. This is a good proposal. So you see, there are some very good proposals in this document, but also we have some draconian proposals. So how can we sort out what is good in this BBI? Remain with what is good. Take away what is not good. That is my question. Here we have the issue of safety and security. Says all Kenyan lives matter. That is fine. Recognizing that security is for the protection of citizens, that's fine. To ensure that the safety and security is prioritized, that's fine. Those are good. Those are good proposals. You see, this document had some very good proposals, which actually is some of these things they have put here is just common sense. They were not even supposed to be duplicated here. They are still there in the other constitution. So some of these things are just sweeteners to make the document look good. You don't put what is common. Some things that have been put in the BBI, they are things that can be dealt with with Parliament. And this is what we were saying. We don't need these things here. What we needed is what exactly do they want to be changed? Because some of these things, they're already there in the 2010 Constitution. There is no need of putting them here to make the document look good. What they were supposed to do, bring what is necessary and direct the point. Don't bring a very big document to confuse people and make things look so complex so that people don't read. Give people something simple. We want to change the judiciary. What do you want to change in the judiciary? You want to make some changes in the executive. What do you want to make changes in the executive? We want to increase the salaries No, not the salaries, but the resource allocation to the counties. What do you want to do about it? Those are the common things in the whole of this BBI. The whole of this BBI is all about the expansion of the executive. It's all about the executive trying to manage the judiciary. It's all about resource allocation to the counties. Everything else is not necessary. Most of the other things here, they are not necessary. But because they don't want to make it simple, they want to make it so complex so that Kenyans, when you see the whole of this document, which have, I don't know how many pages, you get tired. You get tired. 23 to 24 pages a year. You get tired. You don't want to read it. So anyway, let me tell you, my people, if the BBI goes through, if it goes through, you will have a prime minister who is called Uhuru Kenyatta for another 10 years. Is that what you want? And when he'll be leaving, he will still want to know who will receive the next government. I think we don't want to go there. Do you know how I have been in Uganda actually for more than 6 years? I have stayed in Uganda for more than 6 years. And from the time I was in primary school, the only president I can remember in power is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Do you want us to be there that we had Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta, President Uhuru Kenyatta, Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta? Don't you feel we as Kenyans have moved from there? People manipulating the systems to remain in power. You should refuse such things. Kenyans, don't accept such things. If you want Raila to become the president, support Raila Odinga, but don't appear as if you want to continue being in the executive. And I'm telling you this, and you'll prove me wrong. As somebody with a background of psychology, if you could see after the BBI was thrown out by the court, the bitterness that was with the president, it tells me the president wanted something big from the BBI. And that something big is to be appointed as the prime minister of Kenya. And you had people, his close friends, saying he is very young. It is not about age. Actually, in Kenya, we have people who are younger than you and people who are older than you, but they don't even have job. They don't have jobs. In fact, you have many. You have a lot of money. Leave another person to occupy the office so that we can create jobs for people who don't have jobs. So it is not about these things we have put in the constitution. It is not about being young. It is about letting other people get a chance. So anybody saying Uhuru is very young, we have governors who are very young and they're also going home. Imagine somebody like Alfred Mutua, somebody who is very capable of even becoming the president. He is very young, but he is going home. What is wrong with that? We had somebody very young as Barack Obama of United States of America, but he went home. How comes, Uhuru? You think you are very young and very, very special to continue? No, go manage your personal businesses and family businesses. That is what everybody should be telling Uhuru. Do the right thing. And I like what Mother Karua told him. I wish every other leader in Kenya should tell, even Raila Odinga, I believe this is what Baba will do. If Baba becomes the president, you tell Uhuru, thank you. You have made me the president. Now let me form my government. You have eaten your food. don't eat my food. It is selfishness. Let me tell you, Uhuru, if Baba will become the president, and I wish he becomes and turns against you. He becomes the president thinking that he will appoint you, he appoints somebody else. Do you know Baba can become the president? After becoming the president, thinking that he will appoint you, appoint somebody else. Huh? Or even become the president and make a coalition with William Ruto and appoint Ruto as the prime minister. Because Uhuru Kenyatta, I want you to see it this way. God don't want you to do some of the things you are doing. The BBI, the rejection of the BBI by the High Court should have told you something. Then the rejection of the BBI by the Appeal Court should have told you something. Then you came up with a bill to put Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka in the same basket. Then immediately it passed. Musalia Wetangula jumped on to the other team. When you see these things working against you, it's because there are people who think like Geoffrey. You know, for me, nobody can ever put me in a box. I resist. Nobody can carry my mind. Nobody can manipulate me to do what he wants. I can only do what you want if you are doing the right thing. And this is what I'm telling Kenyans. Don't allow the president to manipulate systems because you think he is supporting my man. No, he is doing it not for that person. He is doing it for himself. He is doing it not for the country. He is not doing it for... Uhuru is not supporting Raila for Raila. He is supporting Raila Odinga for himself. This is selfishness. We want him to support Raila Odinga as a person and let him do the work as a person and leave the office peacefully and go home. Okay? I have no problem with Raila becoming the president, but I have a problem with Uhuru Kenyatta wanting to be there. And also, if William Samoei Ruto becomes the president, Uhuru should hand over power peacefully. That is the kind of democracy we want. And Kenyans should not shy to tell the president, Kenyan has grown. Kibaki has set the pace. Go away. We have given you salary from the time you were appointed as the minister of the local government by the former president. We as Kenyans gave you the opportunity to serve as the member of parliament of Gatodo. On top of that, you have served as finance minister. On top of that, you have served as the deputy prime minister. All this time, Kenyans have been paying you. On top of that, you have served as the president for 10 years. We cannot continue having you. Kenyans are even tired of your name if you continue. They will be so tired of having the same person all the time. Please, Mr. President, I believe Kenyans like you. They love you. But you are likely to lose the respect of the people of Kenya if you continue trying to fight to remain in the government. And that is the message. Every Kenyan and every politician should tell the president that this is what you should do. Leave office peacefully. Leave power peacefully. Hand over power. Don't divide Kenyans simply because you want to remain. what you are doing is not right. Kenyans know what you are doing. We can see. We can see. You are not doing it for the country. You are doing it for yourself. This BBI, it has good things, but you have spoiled a good document because of putting in your personal interests. And everybody who is wise can see clearly. We can see your footsteps. Tunaona nyayo zako huko kwa BBI. Tunaziona. We can see your fingerprints on the BBI everywhere. And don't think that the judiciary will, there is no possibility of the judiciary saying that the BBI is a good document. No, you have to go back to the drawing board. Because even if I'm not a lawyer, I was asking myself, when I look at the Constitution, how can the president be the one to initiate the popular initiative? Unless we don't know English. Anybody, even the layman, can see, no, the popular initiative should not be like that. It should not be like that. So the only thing you can do, Uhuru, it is you go back to the drawing board, follow the right process. Follow the right process. Stop attacking the judiciary through the BBI. Stop those unnecessary fights with the judiciary. Because judiciary cannot favor you when you are attacking it on the BBI. Even now, don't expect it to be favorable. Because nobody can allow you, no judge, unless an insane judge can allow you to attack the judiciary through the BBI. And I think that confusion was put in your mind by God so that this case may be taken in the judiciary and the BBI fails. Because we can see clearly the interests, some of the things that are here are yours, are not for the country. Are not for the country. We see the hidden agenda. Anybody who is wise can see the hidden agenda of the president of wanting to continue to be in power at any cost. At any cost. Kenyans, don't accept that. The power is yours to say no. You have the power to say, oh, no. No, that is not what we want. That is not what we want. So I was asking, what is a good constitution for Kenya? A good constitution is the one which will reduce the senators. A good constitution is the one which will reduce the members of parliament. A good constitution is the one which will reduce the county governments. A good constitution is the one which will check the issue of the salaries in Kenya. A good constitution is the one which will look at the interests of the nation at large. That is the good constitution. Not this one, which is making Kenya to have like a crazy parliament, the largest parliament in the whole world. Sometimes I think the outsiders look at our leaders and they wonder, what is wrong with these people? When they listen to the debt level of our nation, and we continue borrowing, we will continue borrowing and borrowing until now the money we have borrowed is more than we can afford to pay. When we reach to that point, we will become like slaves of other countries, because any debt you have borrowed, you must pay. So right now, the analysis shows that the government has borrowed money, and every Kenyan, even the one who will be born today, is having a debt of 180,000, which I don't know whether that money has benefited you. It is said that the cost of the same size of 1 kilometer of road, same size, currently it is 3 times the cost of the same size of road during the Kibaki time. Inflated prices. I hope you are understanding that. Wakenya, nadhani mnaelewa hivyo. Yani barabara upana kwenda hivi na upana kwenda hivi iko sawa, iko the same kiwango, ni sawa. Tuseme ni 1 kilometer. Inajengwa na pesa mara 3 ya ile ilikuwa inatumika wakati wa Kibaki. Kwa hivyo pesa nyingi ni yenye inaenda kwa mifuko ya watu kuliko yenye inaenda kwa development. Kwa hivyo ni kusema mnapeana contract, mnalipa pesa, nyinyi mnaona ni contractors wanalipwa pesa, lakini pesa ingine inarudi kwa wale wenye walipeana contract kwa mlango ya nyuma. Hayo ndio mambo yenye yamerudisha nchi yetu nyuma. Na nchi yetu hurudi nyuma mpaka mahali barabara zinapitia huwa zinapitishwa kwenye hawa viongozi wako na interests. Sasa unakuta ya kwamba nyinyi mnaona ni barabara ndio zinajengwa, lakini wale wanafanya hivyo sio kwenye kwingine zinahitajika sana, ni kwa sababu wako na interest, wamenunua mashamba huko na wanataka value zipande. So ni vizuri kuomba mambo ambayo ni muhimu kwa nchi za nje. Muje kama hapa Amerika, muangalie mabarabara hujengwa namna gani, serikali huwa inajipanga namna gani, muangalie the finances, the financial management inafanywa namna gani, ni kwa nini corruption imeenda chini hivyo ati ya kwamba watu wanaogopa kuiba pesa ya serikali. Hayo ndio mambo yenye tungetaka the government of Kenya waombe huko nje, sio kuomba mambo yenye haina maana. Kutupanulia parliament kubwa, haja iko wapi? Kutupatia sijui 47 county government, hiyo sasa mlitoa wapi? Surely. And you think it's a good thing. Wakenya walikuwa wanaomba hivi, tafadhali tupunguzieni mzigo, tumechoka. Na tukasema Puda amechoka. Sasa tukidhani mnaenda kupunguzia Puda mzigo, mkaongeza Puda mzigo. Kim umesinzia? Okay, Kenyans, let us talk. Let us tell these people no. Ni lazima mzigo ipunguzwe. Ikue ni Mkikuyu, sema punguza mzigo. Hata kama wataleta ile back the bill of Ekura Ukot, that one was better. Kama wewe ni Mjaruo na unataka kusaidika, abia hawa viongozi wetu punguza mzigo. Maana ukinunua chumvi inaenda kulipa madeni, kwa sababu hatupati pesa. Pesa inaenda kwa mishahara na kusustain lifestyle ya hawa viongozi wote. Kwa sababu kama ni member of parliament, sio yeye peke yake, ni yeye, wafanyikazi wake na magari zake na security yake. Punguza mzigo. Kama ni governor, hawa wote ni wao na wafanyikazi wao na wezi wengine wenye wamewazunguka huko. Kwa hivyo the fewer governors you have, the fewer thieves you have. Hawa magavana wote ukiwaona wakikaa hapo hivi na president, wanaogopa wasiondoke hapo watumiwe DCI. Na hiyo ndio hatutaki. We want to see every governor being investigated. Hatutaki kuona watu they are not being investigated kwa sababu wameamua kusupport the president. Tunataka magavana wote, awe ni wa ODM, awe ni wa UDA, awe ni wa wapi, aangaliwe kama pesa aliyopewa imetumika vizuri. Kama haijatumika vizuri, isijalishe kama ana support president. Hivyo ndivyo nchi hukua. Ama ana support nani, ikionekana umeiba, wekwa ndani. Ubaya ni Ni wangapi wameshikwa na wakawekwa ndani? Kama mnataka nchi ikue, the independent bodies, the DCI, the integrity, all of them should work together, and the police to help the nation from these people, because Kenya is a rich country kabisa. Ukiona wengine wako Amerika, sio wengine hawakuja kuhubiri. Wengine wako Amerika kwa sababu walipotea kwao. Wakenya wamepotea Kenya, wanaenda kulipwa 20,000 nchi za Uarabuni. Surely, as a government, you want to tell us it is impossible to create jobs that can offer only 20,000 per month for your people? At least mtu akienda kutafuta visa, aenda kutafuta visa ya kuenda mahali kama UK ama US. Watoto wetu wanaenda kufa huko Uarabuni, wakilipwa pesa kidogo kidogo na wanafanyishwa kazi kama punda ama slaves, na wanaamua badala tukufie hapa nyumbani, wacha tuende. Wengine wanarudishwa wakiwa kwa saduku, and you don't care. Ai, na mnaendelea kusema mtachagua. No. Watu wengi wengine niko nao hapa kwa group, naongea na wao, mishahara wanaopata nchi za nje. Yani watoto wa Kenya wanapanda ndege, wanaenda nchi za nje, wanalipwa 20,000, wanafanyishwa kazi mchana mzima na usiku wanalala saa 4 usiku. 20,000. Kenya, we can do better than that. Halafu wengine mpaka wanafikia kiwango wanauawa, wanarudishwa wakiwa kwa saduku. We should have leaders who are caring in such a way that mtu hata akienda nje ataenda kwa sababu kuna mahali amepata chance mzuri. Sio hiyo ya kwenda kufanya. Yani, you know, I listen to some cases nasema, oh my God, what can we do? Because our leaders don't care. Ile kazi tunasikia ni vile tu wanajiongezea mshahara. Vile wanangangana vile wataongeza mshahara kule kwa bunge. Sijui nani anaongezewa mshahara. Halafu mnasema mnataka tu kuchagua the same people who don't know what is poverty. Huh? They don't think about the common people. Now what you think is, badala ya kufikiria vile mtafungua makampuni na vile mta-attract makampuni nyingi zikuje Kenya, magari yajengewe Kenya, watu wetu wakue kwa teknolojia, muhakikishe ya kwamba vijana wa Kenya wanapata internet, mtengeneze kama you know like labs za internet tu, watoto wanakaa kule na makompyuta, kuna makompyuta kila mahali, wanafanya hizi kazi za nje wakiwa Kenya. Just provide internet and computers, and many young people will do good job. Makampuni, vitu zetu za Kenya, maziwa ni nyingi, lakini we don't want to process that milk vizuri, tuuze kama tumezipack nchi zingine za nje. Ile tu tunafikiria within the box. Ni nani atasaidia Kenya? Wa Kenya, mjiulize kabisa. Maana hawa viongozi wanafanya hivyo kwa sababu wanaangalia, wanaona tuko kama ng'ombe. Unawachagua, wanaenda huko, wanarupana, wanangangana, wanaoshana venye wako na nguvu, alafu tena miaka inaisha, wanarudi wanakuambia, sasa nimerudi, nimekuja sasa kuwasaidia. Nitawasaidia. Siulize mtu, umekuwa huko miaka 5, umekuwa huko miaka 10, umetufanyia nini? Ya, nasikia kabisa Kenya kumejengwa, na ninaona Kenya imejengwa ndio, lakini tumejenga Kenya, but have we gotten the value of our money? Ile pesa yote imekopwa isipokuwa pesa ya mishahara. Tukiangalia hizo vitu zimejengwa, zitalingana na ile kazi imefanywa. Kama hazilingani na ile kazi imefanywa na ile mikopo tumefanya, then hakuna kitu umefanya. Maana sasa umeongeza shida kubwa kuliko yenye tungekuwa nayo. Maana ni nani atalipa hiyo pesa? Si ni Wakenya? Si ni uchumi badala ya kuendelea mbele inarudi nyuma, kwa sababu lazima kwanza tujaribu kurecover. So heri nchi ikue vizuri, lakini tuhakikishe mambo yanafanya vyema. Kama ni wale wanafanya kazi kwa maofisi, wafanye kazi vizuri. Kama ni sisi wa Kenya, tuache ukabila. Tanzania inaweza tupita kwa sababu tu ya kitu moja. Wako na population kubwa kuliko Kenya na hawana ukabila. So mkiregarega kushita kila wakati unafikiria Mjaruo, Mkikuyu, Mbaruya, Mkaba. Those should not be issues. In fact, ningefurahia sana. Na kuna mtu niliambia hivyo. Tukakuwa na kiongozi ambaye hana mambo na haja kubwa na majina kubwa. Hana haja kubwa na kusikia yeye ndiye commander of the armed forces. Hana haja na kujulikana yeye ndiye ako na nguvu sana. Kile ako na haja nacho ni kuona nchi ikiendelea. Na aka hand over power vizuri kwa Uhuru. Mimi na sina ubaya kama ni kuulizwa kwangu, maana nimeona vyenye Uhuru anafanya mambo yake. Kitu kwanza nilikashukuru Mungu kwa maana Uhuru hakukuta constitution kama ile Moi alikuwa nayo. Angekuwa dictator mwenye hamjaiona. Ile inamzuia saa hii ni katiba. Na ndivyo unaona akijawa akikuwa na hasira. At least 2010 constitution inamzuia kidogo. Lakini mzee Kibaki alikuwa ameona bali sana. Maana alikuwa ameprefer Musalia Mudavadi achukue kiti. Kwa sababu Musalia ni mtu mpole. Ni mtu ambaye hana mambo mengi. Ni mtu mtulivu. Ni mtu soba. Angechukua uongozi, unaona Kibaki sasa alikuwa ametutoa kwa dictatorship, akatupeleka sasa kwa katiba mpya. Sasa tena tuende kwa mtu mwingine yako, yeye anafikiria maendeleo na anapenda amani. Sasa tukitoka kwa mtu kama Musalia, tuende kwa mtu kama Peter Kenneth. Nchi ya Kenya imebadilika. Hiyo sasa kukuza hiyo demokrasia ingekuwa mzuri sana. Lakini ukiona watu hawa ambao ni radicals, radical. Wakiingia wakati mwingine wanataka kuonyeshana mimi ndiye mkubwa. Ukisikia mtu akisema nimeshikilia uongozi and I'm in control, huyo sio kiongozi. Ukisikia mtu anataka kuwakumbusha I am the commander of the armed forces, kuna shida. Mtu kama huyo angekuta katiba kama ile ya Moi, mnasema Moi, mungeona. So mimi nina hope wale watachukua, maana saa hii unless Mungu atende muujiza. Saa hii tuko na viongozi wawili. Tuko na William Ruto. Tuko na Raila Odinga. Na unless Mungu atende muujiza, mmoja wao ndiye kiongozi wetu. Nikiomba tuwaombe wakuwe na utulivu. Tutulize hii chuki. Tujue Raila Odinga ni Mkenya, William Ruto ni Mkenya. Tuwaangalie, tuwaeke kwa ratili. Wewe mtu, tuangalie hata masomo, umesoma namna gani, tuangalie. Tuangalie wakati umekuwa ukifanya kazi, umefanya kazi yako aje ukipewa nafasi. Tuangalie mambo yote, tuwaangalie, tuseme okay, nyinyi wote ni wa Kenya, lakini wewe ndiye tunaona unafaa kuongoza Kenya. Na kutoka hapo tuseme wa Kenya wote mwenye amechaguliwa ndiye kiongozi wetu, tumpatie support. Na akitoka nje kidogo kama vile sasa hivi tunaambia Uhuru, hey we, tuache. Tumekupatia time yako. Sasa wacha kutuambia ati nilisikia akisema ati sasa wakati wa siasa umekuja na mtatusikia tunarudi kwa uwanja. Nikajiuliza, kwani unasimama? Kenyans. Yani unaona the outgoing president anasema nimekuwa nikinyamaza, nikifanya kazi kwa ofisi, nikigojea wakati wa siasa ufike, na sasa mtanisikia. Najiuliza, unasimama kiti gani? Na ndivyo huwa nasema Wakenya, someni mambo ambayo mtu anasema in between the lines na una underline. Okay. Oh. Ni nini wewe unang'ang'ania? Ni nini unataka? Ni nini unaweza kuwa unaficha? Maana ningetaka kama mnataka Kenya iendelee, president akitoka kunakuwa na scrutiny ya yale mambo yote yamefanya. Office of the president, the auditors wanaingia huko, record zote za vyenye safari zote alienda, matumizi ya pesa kama ilipita kiwango anarudisha. Kama ni mambo kwenye ali overstep anakuwa accountable. Kama sasa Uhuru, nikikuwa na uwezo nikuwe Kenya, Mungu anisaidie nikuwe na uwezo, kwa sababu ya court orders zenye umekataa. Kama hakutakuwa mtu atakupeleka kotini, mimi nitakupeleka kwa sababu hauwezi disobey court orders kama kiongozi, ama kama ni minister, wewe ndio disobey court order, unafaa kukuwa accountable. Hivyo ndivyo nchi inakuwa. Kwa hivyo judiciary iendelee kukaza kaba to put these people in check. Kwanza walikosea sana. Nilikuwa nataka mshike mtu mmoja tu, kama mngeshika DCI na mfugie kutoka hapo Kenya, koti ingeheshimika na viongozi wangeanza kuogopa, kwa sababu wanajua nikiiba nipelekwe pale nitawekwa ndani. Na Maraga alishaweka pace mzuri sana kwa judiciary, akasema uchaguzi okay, process haikufuatwa, rudia. So mimi ningetaka na ningeomba ya kwamba judiciary msichoke kufanya mema kwa nchi. So far mmesaidia Kenya sana by throwing out the BBI. Mumeonyesha the executive you must do the right thing. Na Supreme Court msiogope, muwaambie kabisa. You know judiciary ya America haichezagi, na viongozi wanaiogopa kabisa, maana you cannot influence them. Sahi muangalie hiyo BBI museme okay, iko na mambo mazuri, lakini ina interfere with it is interfering with what do you call it? It is interfering with the judiciary. It is not good for the country. It is interfering with the independence of the police. It is not good for the country. It is expanding the houses that we have, the parliament and the Senate. It is not good for the country. Instead, it is increasing the burden. Inaongeza mzigo. Nyinyi wa Kenya mnataka nini? Wa Kenya mnataka nini? Do you want more burden or do you want to reduce the burdens? Ask yourself. So judiciary, tafadhali tufanyieni favor. Muambie Uhuru na Raila hakuna mahali Kenya inaenda, hata mkitoka tutakuwa na viongozi wengine. Don't make them feel so special. Anybody, even me, given opportunity, even you, anybody who is listening to me, given an opportunity, you can become a leader. So msikubali watu wanafikiria they are special and they should be the one to determine your fate. No, waambie enda nyumbani. Enda nyumbani. Ukienda nyumbani bado utapata mtu mwingine. BBI tutakuja kupata. Tutaipata, lakini sio sasa. Tutaipata, tutapata changes. Hizo changes zenye tunataka tutazipata hata bila nyinyi. We can still, by the way, msifikiria ati tumepoteza. We can still have these changes without Uhuru. Uhuru, Kenya will still be there without you. It will still be there. So tafadhali wacha kuchokesha nchi na mambo mengi, kutukuibiza na huku sijui nini. Hizi biru zinapitishwa haraka. Hakuna mahali Kenya inaenda. Tutapata viongozi wengine na waendelee na tamu yao, na wakikuja bado watafanya kazi. Na hata hao hawatamaliza. Hata Amerika saa hii bado sheria zinaendelea kutungwa. Na hii nchi imekuwa hapo tangu jadi miaka nyingi iliyopita. So you cannot solve all the problems of Kenya, Uhuru. You cannot do everything. Hata shida ni kwamba unataka kujenga Kenya within 10 years. Sasa ukakopa. No, things are not done that way. Unaachia hao wengine. Na wanakuja wanakufanya yao wanaenda. You can't do everything. Hata ukijaribu. Every time and every season comes with its own problems. So please, time yako imefika mwisho. Wacha kusubua nchi. Pumuzika vizuri. Wacha kutuambia sasa season imefika ya siasa. Unaingia siasa Uhuru. Kwani ni nini ni kiti gani na wewe sasa umeshafika executive. Enda nyumbani. Na kama kuna kitu umechukua rudisha tu. Rudishia nchi. Kama kuna kitu unaogopa, maana ninaona kama kuna kitu unataka ifichwe, badala ya kushida na hiyo mambo yote na shida hizo si uachane na vitu za nchi, uende pole. Maana hata ukipewa dunia yote ikuwe yako, siku moja utafuga macho na utaziacha. So ninashindwa bona viongozi wa Kenya na wa dunia, especially Kenya sasa ndio imebaki na hiyo mambo ya viongozi wanataka hata upewe dunia yote. Baba yako alikuwa hapo na hiyo mashamba bado alikuwa nayo. Hiyo mashamba hiyo yote alikuwa nayo. Alienda na any of them. Kenyatta alienda na hata hajaziko kwa shamba yake. Na kwa hizo shamba zote Uhuru na hiyo mali yote uko nayo, babako bado alikuwa tajiri. Ilimsaidia namna gani? So tuache hii mambo, tuache viongozi wetu. Ninatumia tu Uhuru maana ni ndiye ako pale juu, lakini hii naambia viongozi wote wa Kenya. It doesn't help. Kukuwa na mabilioni ya pesa, mwisho wa mwanadamu ni kufa. Na hakuna mwenye nafikisha miaka 150. Hata 130 ni bahati. Hata 120 ni bahati. Uhuru, sikiza. Uko 60 something. Miaka ingine 40 inakuja. Hautakuwa unaona takataka zenye ziko chini mahali unapitia. Utakuwa miaka 100. Just 40 years from now. You don't require to do so many things. Just thank Kenyans. Mulinipatia nafasi. Nimewatumikia. Asanteni sana. Nataka kutoka kwa heshima. Huyo mwingine mwenye ataidia, nitambariki, nitampatia Kenya. Nitampatia uongozi. Uende upeane kwa heshima. Wakenya wakushukuru. Ukipita mahali unashangiliwa. Kibaki saa hii by the way ninamumi sana. Ninataka tu nimuone tu nifurahi. Lakini kuna viongozi wengine wakitaka, Wakenya wanatamani wakufe, wasahaulike. Kwa sababu ya vile mnasubue, hata ukitoka unataka kusubua, hata no. Toka, naambia viongozi, toka mahali unatoka kwa heshima. Watu watakuwa wanakumisi. Uende Uhuru Park ukipeana uongozi watu wakushangilie. Lakini furuga inchi, utakumbuka tu. Na unajua historia hujirudia. Aliye kusukuma ukuwe kiongozi, kumbuka vile alipigwa na matope. Na ni kutoka alikuwa anatoka. Na wewe naona ile njia unaelekea ni hiyo ya kupigwa na Wakenya kwa matope. Kiongozi mzuri anaacha nchi ikiwa na umoja. Ningekuwa wewe, ningejaribu kushikanisha William Ruto, Raila Odinga na viongozi wengine na niondokee. Toka kwa heshima. Na Wakenya watakuheshimu, watakupigia makofi, watakushangilia, watakupenda. Utakuwa unapita hivi mahali unaona watu wote wanakufurahia. Lakini kuna wengine wanapita mahali wanasema huyo aende. So demokrasia ya Kenya imekuwa, Wakenya sasa wameelimika. Viongozi tuache kusubua nchi. Viongozi tuache kugawanya Wakenya. Wakenya hawana haja. Wakenya hawana haja na mtu wa kabila yao. So mtu aache kukasirika ati kuna mtu amepenetrate sijui background ya kwake. Ati unakuwa na hasira kwa sababu fulani anaonekana anapendwa na unaona kama wewe sasa hauna say. ati na huko ni kwenu. Kenya ni yetu sisi zote, na Wakenya ndio wameamua hawataki ukabila. So kusikue wale ama yule kiongozi yako pale juu ndiye atatumia sasa pesa kurudisha mambo ya ukabila, wakati wa Kenya wanataka kuendelea. Wacha kusukuma BBI, na unajua kuna mambo iko pale ambayo sio mazuri. Tutaendelea kuambia Wakenya sio mzuri, sio mzuri, sio mzuri hii kitu mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Tukichagua isubue zaidi, tutakuwa tumeongea. It's not good. It's not good. Hiyo document iko na mambo mazuri, lakini kuna mambo iko huko ndani imefichwa, ya kwamba tukipitisha basi tumejifunga. Kuna mambo imefichwa huko ndani ambayo mkipitisha basi mumejifunga. Na ndivyo tunasema kwa sasa BBI iendelee kuanguka. Iendelee kuanguka tena. Hiyo ndio ombi yangu. Iendelee kuanguka. Lakini uongozi ambao tutapata, hata kama ni Raila Odinga, sasa alete BBI ambayo haina footsteps za Uhuru huko ndani, ambayo hatuoni vidole huku. Nikisoma hii kitu hapa, ninaona vidole za Uhuru huko ndani. Nikisoma hii BBI, naona nyayo za Uhuru huko ndani. Na Uhuru ni kutoka anatoka. We don't want these footsteps za president ambaye anatoka kwa BBI. Tunataka changes zenye zitaguza mambo ambayo yanasubua tu Kenya, na mambo ambayo ni ya kudumu. Mambo yenye wameweka hapa within no time, tutaitisha BBI ingine, ama tutaitisha changes zingine kwa constitution, because this one haipunguzi mzigo wa wananchi. This one is not solving the problems that we want solved. Hii ni fact, inaongezea ile njia wamesema sijui ya kusolve to that gender problem. It's not workable. It's not at all. So please. Yani inaongezea tu mzigo. Na document mzuri mlikuwa mumepewa na Ekuru au court. Waliipiga, pesa ni baya. Wakaipiga isipite. Kwa sababu gani? Wanataka yao yenye iko na nyayo zao. Ukiangalia kule utaona fingerprints za viongozi wetu. Hapana, lazima mukatae. So asanteni sana. Hiyo ni BBI. Ya, na siku wakati wa mchana tutakuwa pamoja na nyinyi tukiongea mambo tu ya siasa. Asanteni sana, mkuwe na wakati mwema, mkuwe na usiku mwema. Tuendelee kuangalia mambo ya nchi yetu na kuongea bila kuogopa chochote, na ninajua ya kwamba finally tutatokea mahali